Please have a seat so we can get started with this ceremony. Please have a seat for this last encounter, for this last part of the awards. On behalf of CAF, Latin American Caribbean Development Bank, we want to have a pleasure to welcome everybody present in the Santa Marta Theater to celebrate or to hold the second edition of the Leadership Award, Enrique García. Also, welcome all the streamers through our web site. This award is a tribute to the extraordinary contribution and leadership of the presidency CAF for 25 years, Enrique García. Second edition of his award for leadership recognizes young leaders that aligned with CAF to become the green bank for Latam and the Caribbean, leading social entrepreneur startups through positive impact in society and in the environment. Next, allow me to invite Karen Carvajalino, CEO and co-founder of Peace Nation, for a conference on young leadership. Good evening, I'm Karen Carvajalino. I'm very thrilled to be here today to talk about young leadership. Okay, come on. We're gonna talk about young leadership like this, in this mode. I understand that Carlos Vives is out there, but this is my time, so let's do it again in my way. So you're going to introduce me again, but like, you know, the Carnival of Barranquilla with the music and the whole thing. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to walk out. Let's pretend that this never happened, and when I come back and with the music and everything, I want to see you all standing up, clapping, jumping, screaming, seeing the reincarnation of your favorite artist. Is that okay? You hear me? So let's give our all. Let's do it again. Just wait for the music. Santiago, give me the music, the way we just rehearsed this thing. Now I'll give you Karen Carvajalino. So give it up here. These guys here didn't even stand up. Alright, let me hear you. Now you can go back and be seated. Attitude is about 80% of a difference. So thank you for being here. Celebrate this award to young leadership. I love been here before moving on. Let me tell you who I am. Why am I just screaming this way at this time? So just let me show you this short video clip and then we go back. Oh, Santiago, come on, play the audio. We practice this.
Hola, Santiago. Bueno, espérense, repetimos. Ahora sí. A ver, ahí. No. Ahí. Las Carvalino, tres hermanas.
This is three sisters, young Latin sisters. They had a disadvantage, but then they challenged the system. They founded their first company when they were 6, 7, and 8 years old. Their authors, speakers, have dedicated their lives to transform people at every scale. They founded Peace Nation, a virtual platform for young leaders for technology, entrepreneurship, and essential skills. With the years, three sisters have brought their message to millions of people. Their companies have been recognized by very important entities such as the World Economic Forum, the United Nations, and the 14th Nobel for their impact on economy and social. The directors of the Carter International School, but they train more than 600 kids with an international mentality through entrepreneurship, technology, and neuroscience. The Carvajalinos, selected by President Obama to be part of the World Forum of Entrepreneurship in Silicon Valley, declared historic heritage, and they're the champions of change. Karen, Daniela, and Stephanie are national and international headlines from Brazil to China and the United Arab Emirates. There are three sisters, three styles, one mission: bring economic and social development through practical education and empowerment. The Carvalino sisters are changing the concept of education, business, and entrepreneurship. Karen, Daniela, and Stephanie, the Carvalino sisters. So this is us from Colombia to the world. So when they asked me to come and talk about young leadership, so every time I have this opportunity, this is a dream come true, because I'm going to talk about leadership. This is not because I read a book, it is because with my sisters, this is why I have the habit of speaking about my sisters. It's been 22 years of practicing young leadership. We started selling chocolates when we were 6, 7, and 8 years old, and this is in Barranquilla. That's where we started door to door. Of course, we come from a home with two educators, and 22 years ago thought that they had to teach entrepreneurship from early ages, and then they said in their mind they needed some guinea pigs. So this is us. So we started Choco Card. That was the name of our business. I was general manager when I was 8. Daniela was the commercial manager at 7. Steffi was the sales executive when she was 6, and we had roles, positions, uniforms, responsibilities, job descriptions, and so on. And there, 22 years later, my sisters and myself continue to be obsessed with education, and education since early age. It makes the whole difference. I don't know back then my parents what they were thinking about, but I was very clear. That was the general manager of Choco Card, and it was so important to believe the story that I still believe the story. I'm CEO of Business Nation and doing everything we do today. This is why today, every time we celebrate young leadership, I just have a blast when we promote entrepreneurship from young early ages. So when we were selling these chocolate bars door to door around the neighborhood, before Choco Card expanded to sell in the stores and in the neighborhood. So once we knocked on the door of a neighbor that always bought from us, and that neighbor that day it said, "Hey girls, I'm not buying today," and I said, "What?" Just go take it up, collect later. Maybe the guy was suffering diabetes from so much chocolate, but he said something. Let's do something. Come to my university, and then you can give a talk about your family business. I was 9 years old, and then I said, "What's a conference?" My only question, because I had to sell. How many students you have? He said 30. Perfect. Are you gonna let us sell chocolates? And then he said yes. So let's go do the conference, whatever. I remember that we got there at night at home, and then I said, Father, we're going to give a conference. And he has said, you know what a conference is? And I said, no, but they're gonna let us sell 30 chocolates. That was my obsession back then. So in conclusion, my dad said, okay, so let's prepare that conference. And then we went out to that class at the university. It was a master's course. They were older than me. I remember that they put us on the desk of a professor because they couldn't see us. And I remember, as if it was yesterday, that I stood there and I said, good morning, everybody. My name is Karen Carvajalino. I'm 9 years. I'm a general manager of Choco Card. And people were just bursting laugh because no general manager is 9 years old. And then I said, hey, hold on. As a general manager, I buy raw materials. I had the best position in the company because I did quality control. I had to eat all the chocolates as if they were the optimal quality. And these people said, what about this little girl? How does she know all these things? And I didn't know that at all. This is what we did every day. And my parents told us that, hey, go ahead and taste the chocolate. And they told us that is quality check. And they explained that we had a revenue and customers and so on. So when we're very young, I'm going to talk about that. You have to believe in yourself. So we ended the talk, and there someone in the audience said, hey, Karen, come to my school. I want to bring you to my university and my college and so on. Little by little, we started to give these talks in Colombia. Then someone brought us to Panama, to Hispanic American Congress, then Chile, and we believed in ourselves since very young age to understand that your voice can have the capacity to change the mentality of other people. Our only rush here was going from selling chocolate to making sure that if at least one of the people sitting in that auditorium thought, hey, this little girl's selling 50,000 in chocolate. Okay, so what sort of entrepreneurship can I think of? So to make a long story short, it's been 22 years. So that you don't have the image, this is my sister, Daniela Steffi. So we've done everything. We've published books. We published 2023 our last book, How to Do Business Without Money, because you need a lot of things. I love writing. I write columns in the Forbes magazine. We founded Business Nation in 2007, and it's been 15 years having these conferences. What if we do technology and this and that, but the entrepreneur must have a touch of a stubbornness. Sometimes ideas are not that good, but the thing is that we created this platform for virtual education before COVID. So think about before COVID, who thought that virtual education, that you could learn this many things? Not everyone. This was about thinking about very futuristic things. But then we started to build this business, and during the pandemic in that year 2020, everybody, all those that we had invited, that year was like, hey, I need that platform you spoke about. And then I said, in 2020 we had 100,000 users in Business Nation, and we had my dad, my mom, my aunt. This was like a very drastic change, but a change for which young entrepreneurs with the spirit of an entrepreneur can have a capacity. What I like about Business Nation, and something that I like to see young entrepreneurs, especially those present here today, the ones that participated in the process for this very relevant award. I think that social entrepreneurship is the real way to change the world. This nation has been a social entrepreneurship. We sell courses through internet in Latin America, and we have education programs at schools for young students, for kids, for girls. And believe that today's young leaders are called to transform the world with a social entrepreneurship that is sustainable, scalable, but that improves or solves a problem out of the many problems we have in Colombia, Latam, and the world. I believe that social entrepreneurs have that capacity, the chip, the mindset, and especially the skills to transform a social entrepreneurship project. And every time that I tell this story, I do it with one objective, and it is the objective to demonstrate the power that we have as young leaders. I'm not even at 10% of what I want to be and do. I still have a lot to do. 2 years ago, we were I was with my sisters at the Forbes front page, and the only reason I showed this is that, hey, I am the perfect description of the antithesis of what a successful technology entrepreneur is. A successful entrepreneur is not as young and that has a lot of stereotypes associated. One, and I think that all the young students and leaders that participated in the award, they get to a meeting and they like, hey, the beneficiary is here. No, but I'm the founder to this. So there is all these stereotypes around that. In addition to that, women, we don't lead technology companies in Colombia. 4% of the founders of technology startups are women, but now the last straw is that I'm from the coast, and that comes with some other public imaginaries of what people think about us. And that reminds me of breaking stereotypes, thinking outside the box. Show the people the power, the potential we have, the power and potential we have as young leaders and women in technology. And we're not, as people from the coast, with my sisters, we decided to create the Entrepreneurship Leadership Festival, the biggest one in Colombia. So I told them, hey, let's create. Well, if entrepreneurship change our lives, why don't we bring the seed to other young leaders? It makes sense, but if we're gonna do it, let's go big. Let's go to the biggest stadium in the world, the Movistar Arena. How many people fit in there? 14,000 chairs, perfect. Let's go sit. Let's go bring 14,000 young leaders to talk about entrepreneurship. Well, you have this crazy idea, and we're entrepreneurs. We know this. So the first thing that we have to do is, people mocking you. So people said, hey, what about this? I mean, you have Carol G and Maluma, but Karen C, maybe something like that. And we've done this 4 times this year with 14,000 young leaders. This year that we have another crazy idea. And then I said, let's go to another city. So we did it in Medellin. We packed the bullfight ring. This is not a concert. This is an inspiration festival for young leaders. Again, we have the festival on September 16 in Bogota. We want to continue transforming and bringing this festival to more places because we believe that young leaders deserve the possibility to have a dream and to change their mindset for something so that they can believe and be convinced that entrepreneurship is a way to transform their realities. This happened in May. Just imagine how hard it is to bring 12,000 young leaders in Medellin, 14,000 in Bogota. Next year we want to do it in the coast. But the message here, first thing is, I want to congratulate all the finalists, the winners, participants of this very important award, because we must congratulate those that dare to create a business, those that dare to start up, and those that dare to just leap into the unknown with these crazy ideas that you don't understand at the beginning, but then it all makes sense. I know that we have many of those participants, and let's give them a very big round of applause. We're going to get them to know better. And next thing that I want to say is that we must believe to create. We're in a country where, of course, the process of creating a business, it is like a roller coaster. You're there, there's no seat belt, so you have to grab something onto something not to fall off the cart. But the thing is that when entrepreneurs believe that there is the possibility to have a positive impact on the world, we do just whatever it takes to create a different reality with our projects now. The thing is that not only we do it through entrepreneurs, but we also create it as an ecosystem, and this is where the rest of adults have an important role, because being an entrepreneur is difficult. A young entrepreneur, which is what we're here, and a social entrepreneur has of difficulties, but I believe that if we are more and more the ones that trust and facilitate, the ones that boost the ecosystem, we're gonna be thousands and thousands of Colombians and Latin Americans, the ones wanting to believe that starting a business is worth it. Countries such as Colombia have a huge entrepreneurship potential, and my commitment, my invitation to you is that when we grow up, it becomes more difficult. We have to go back to the beginning and foster the entrepreneur spirit as early as possible in the lives of kids, as early as possible. We're never too young to start a business. We don't have to study administration, or we're too old or too big or too small. We just need to believe to create powerful things that have a huge impact and a significant impact that improve the lives of people, to live, to make the world a better place. I do it through education, through the projects we are going to present today. We have these top entrepreneurs in the whole region creating impact from different perspectives, and I think we have to support entrepreneurs, because they have this huge potential. So the younger they are, the better it will be, and the more we believe, the better. Thank you for the invitation again. Please, let's give a round of applause. A pleasure to meet you, Mr. Sergio. Thank you to CAF, and give him a round of applause and give it up for those winners of tonight. We thank Karen Carvajalina for this talk that was very inspiring. In line with what the award is now, I want to give the floor to Alejandra Claro, the Secretary General of CAF, to introduce the second edition of Enrique García Leadership Award.
Bueno, qué trabajo tan difícil me han puesto, pero voy a tratar de resumir, porque aquí lo importante ya es conocer quiénes son los premiados. ¿Me ayudan? ¿Quién me ayuda? Bueno, Mientras me van ayudando, les voy a contar que se decidió hacer este premio acá en Santa Marta por una razón muy importante. Es el corazón del mundo. Y por eso decidimos hacer el premio Enrique García acá, porque un grupo de jóvenes, si quieres me ayudas. Bueno, un grupo de jóvenes decidió postularse a la segunda edición del premio Enrique García. En esta segunda edición lo que decidimos fue tener un grupo de personas que se dediquen a ver, que puedan hacer, perdón, ¿vale? ¿Se están pasando? Si vas pasando, si me dicen. Bueno, la segunda edición es liderazgo basado en emprendimiento social. Se postularon 30 personas, 30 jóvenes de América Latina y el Caribe, y si ustedes ven el mapa, fueron 12 países que lograron postular. ¿Qué pasó con los otros países? Lo que pasó fue que todavía no hemos logrado hacer lo que nos decía Karen Carvajalino, que todos los jóvenes se quieran postular y sobre todo que vean los problemas y que tengan una predisposición de presentar soluciones. ¿Cuáles fueron los sectores en los cuales se postularon estos 30 jóvenes con proyectos maravillosos? Son proyectos que tienen que ver con la estrategia de CAF. Está el medio ambiente y la sostenibilidad, la educación, empoderamiento juvenil, inclusión social, innovación y tecnología, cultura, identidad y arte, justicia climática y comunicación. Y quiero resaltar esto, la mayor parte de los proyectos se enfocaron en justicia climática. ¿Qué es lo que nos quiere decir? Que los jóvenes están preocupados por el medio ambiente. ¿Cuáles fueron los criterios de evaluación? Fueron liderazgo y trayectoria, viabilidad, impacto, innovación, afinidad, potencialidad en el mercado. Toda la CAF se vio involucrada a través de sus vicepresidencias. Las vicepresidencias de planificación estratégica, la del sector privado, la de finanzas y así cada una de ellas. El día de hoy tenemos ya los ganadores en sala y de los 30 que les comenté que se postularon, quedaron 6 finalistas. Estos finalistas fueron de Argentina, tenemos a Carrie Ann Bobel de Barbados, tenemos a Nicolás Key de Jamaica, tenemos a José Adolfo Quizacola del Perú, Lester Vargas.
We have Lester Vargas again from Peru, and we had Darim Jeffrey. Okay, I'm not here to say who won, but what I have to say is to invite Manuel Estrada, the president of Iberoamérica Diseña, because, hey, Manuel, please, can you come here on stage? Because he's going to tell us why he decided to accept to design the Enrique García Award. He's the president of the Iberoamerican Association of Design, and he is the designer of novel prizes such as Gabriel Garcia Marquez books and also Jose Saramago. Manuel, please welcome. Thank you, Alejandra. It is difficult, Enrique and Alejandra and Sergio. It is difficult to find the proper tone to deliver this very long content. I was about to get on the stage to dance with the master, Professor Nunez, and this last talk with Carlos Vives. I'm a designer, yeah. I could not move around, but I wanted to do it. And my job is first lead Association of Designers. I'm going to be fast with this because the first message, this is the first association of designers in Hispanic America, designers from Portugal, Spain, and Latin America. For the first time, we've constituted a way to foster and incentivize design in our countries. So what's the difference? What does a designer do? What do we have to design, a trophy or a word, or what do we think we have to do? Artists throw the arrow and whatever they land the arrow, that's where they draw the aim, but we try to define where the aim is and then hit the center. So when we're asked to design a word for CAF to signify leadership under the role of a leader, of course, for this many years, and I had the opportunity to meet him in Madrid in a short talk. So what do we do when we go against creating a logo? We think, and then we establish criteria, then we design. This is the logo of the gallery of a royal collections, the last big museum in Spain. So we wanted to insert this jeep with this crown between the royal palace and the Madrid cathedral to the museum. That was not very popular. So creating a brand, creating a trophy, and a word is designing first. You have to synthesize and then create a symbol. So on the wall of a museum, it looks easy to do something, to make something for the use of this crown. I'm going to go through this fast, and I'm going to go directly to some of the brands that we've helped design in Spain for awards. For example, the National Design Awards. When we were asked to design the trophies and the brand, then we thought about creating a brand that lasted in time. So we had this something like a bow with the arrow hitting the target, but that we created a brand that has then been present, and it is also an object. This is the trophy that's then handed to the winners that receive the National Designers Award and the National Innovation Trophy. But then when Madrid asked us to design a brand and a trophy for the week of fashion in Madrid, and they said that it had to be a menina, but this is about fashion. Why do you have to go back and think about the 17th century? But it's got to be black and white and very graphic. So this is a menina. It's pretty much deformed because of a screen, but it had this semi-circle, half circle, and a triangle. And once we created this brand and how we applied it, then we designed this wood menina that became the trophy. 3 years ago, they asked us to design the National Research Award. We made the same thing, but investigation was research, finding in the stars what we don't know, and finding in the microorganism what we don't know. A telescope, a microscope, that double form that we put in a logo and an identity that then repeated in time, and with that we made it into an object that then became a trophy that is like the center, the vortex of this identity. We also created a version for the National Awards of Young Research in Spain, and we give it a different shape that's more radish, and then we created an object in resin, some sort of plastic instead of the plastic. So when we created a year and a half ago, CAF asked us to solve this image for the so light. We had this T for transparency with this folded corner. So the idea has to be used to fix what we propose. That first experience brought us to CAF, and CAF is also collaborating with the project of this new association of designers. Then we thought, what do we have to do to create this award? Maybe you are, this is the second edition winners. What do you do with that? First, let's think about concepts and definitions so that we can anchor this for the next editions. Number two, let's try to give it a graphic unity and a graphic identity. Let's fix something synthetic that stays in time, that expresses leadership, that evokes leadership in an abstract way, with the meaning of leadership of Enrique García, which is still there. His name, his memory, his inheritance. So we thought about concepts and words, and then we thought, we are looking for an identity. A trophy is the expression of an identity. Let's make something that's beautiful so that we can bring it back every year. So with that, we wonder what's leadership. What leadership is? The reflection of a situation of superiority and growth of a person or institution in its landscape, musicians, young leaders, young students, or at a bank, development bank, someone who starts other business. So leading, heading, highlighting, directing, or outstanding. And a leader is a person that heads that leads to an objective. So with this concept, we started to sketch someone elevating their head from a group to see further, stepping on the social scale, but not only from the benefit, but also the visibility, the perspective, the capacity to see further. And these ideas, these sketches, took us to creating an idea for this identity. So creating a logo, creating a trophy is the same thing. It's an object. An object becomes a three-dimensional object in the physical world that needs a meaning, so that the winner can put it on top of the chimney or fireplace. So this is a bit deformed. It's not as horizontal. This is an L for leadership with an I, a color, this reddish color, and then an idea of this form, a typography, so we can use it to fix this idea. Edition after edition. Enrique García Leadership Award, second edition. Well, this is what we propose based on this subject, which I hope winners. I haven't seen that since we sent it from Madrid, so I hope this is the way we can fix this idea with the name of Enrique García continue to be fixed, edition after edition, with all these famous awards in culture, they just nail the same nail again and again so that the final work is completed. So this is the object. This is a steel rusted embedded on a wooden piece, and this part is getting long, but we want to know who the winner is. So this is it for me. Thank you very much, and looking forward to having this award for many years to come. Thank you very much, Manuel. Next, we give the floor to Andres Rujeles, representing the members of the judges and evaluators of the award. Good evening, everyone. I want to thank CAF for the invitation to be part of this jury in its second edition of a leadership award. I'm happy to share these words in Santa Marta, in a land to which I have a very special affection. Open quote, Santa Marta is a city where every stone and monument and every instant of the beautiful bay is a motive to continue to turn around this mill of impressions. Its bay is an optical illusion, and quote, end quote. This is how the city was described in the year of 1950 by our Nobel Prize Gabriel Garcia Marquez, who, after visiting for a few days, published a series of notes. So in the framework of his award and in the framework of this optic illusion of a 500-year anniversary of his city, I want to leave you with three reflections. First is the extraordinary contribution of former President Enrique García to the institution for his continued work during 26 years. His job demonstrated his commitment, and his legacy today inspires new generations and has settled the foundation for a more prosperous future for the organization. On his wisdom and his shoulders of giant, the institution of future is being built today. Second reflection is the dimension and the high flight of CAF in these last 5 years under the leadership of its president, Sergio Díaz Granados. The results of his work are self-explanatory, and I want to highlight the following. A geographic expansion of the bank, incorporation of new partners and members such as Antigua, Barbuda, Bahamas, and Guatemala, who have contributed to the consolidation of CAF as the Bank of Development of LATAM. Operational solidity, and in 2024, the bank was the institution with most approvals of credits and loans in the bank, with the biggest disbursements in the region. In the same time, we highlight financial solidity and the improvement of its rankings. They convey trust and optimism. Likewise, their commitment to biodiversity and the environment, it has become what it was, the promise of being the green bank in the region. Today, they have a very important role in the generation of relevant knowledge and the construction of bridges between LATAM and the world, Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. They're working hard with the local governments in the region, the case of Santa Marta, to strengthen its capacities and improve collaboration and respond to the needs. Let's remember that development starts from the local to the national and from the national to the global level. I hope that this virtuous cycle of work continues for the years to come under the leadership of President Diaz Granados for the benefit of all the countries and their peoples. From the Oxford and London School of Economics, something has been built here which is unique, and this is based on the political will, the vision, the long-term vision, and enormous tenacity to work. We must preserve, therefore, CAF as the main public asset in the region amidst the tensions and the difficulties of the geoeconomies and geopolitics in the globe. And the third message, leadership. This award is dedicated to the leadership of youngsters that are, at the end of the day, the future of the region. This leadership must have a humanistic sense that consolidates human dignity and promotes freedom, equality, and solidarity for the construction of more just societies that are more prosperous and inclusive. According to Professor of Oxford University, Kartik Ramana, leader or leading is not imposing but serving with integrity and fostering communities able to leave the world a better place. I'm certain that the critical point here is serving the others with a purpose, with empathy and intelligence, and that requires, of course, teamwork, but especially accompanied by integrity, good judgment, and technical capacity. I invite you today to inspire and leave at every step you take in your life a profound footprint. Thank you. Now the time has come, and I'm happy to invite Enrique García, former president of CAF, for the announcement of a winner and the special mentions of the second edition. Thank you. I'm very thrilled of being here in Santa Marta on this occasion, and I want to highlight and thank Sergio for having the initiative 3 years ago to create this award. I was surprised by the idea, and this reflects something that's very important. I have a critic to the leadership in our countries, and a disease that I call the ISMO. ISMO is the systemic, chronic, recurrent refoundationalism. How do you explain that? The new president, the new manager, the new minister, the new bartender, the first thing they say when they arrive, they say history starts today, and everything that was done before is good for nothing, and coming with a new thing. So I want to highlight Sergio for not having done that, but having done what has to be done. Start with the foundations of an institution. And I meant CAF in its beginning, when I was at the BID, worked at the office of a president every time there was a new creation, so I got to know CAF very close. Then at the IDB, I was the manager for financial institutions and industries, and the president of CAF arrives at my office and tells me, Enrique, we're leaving. And I said, where? He said, to Caracas. And I asked, why? Why? It was very bossy, and he said, I'm going to talk to Ortiz. And I said, hey, I cannot. I just came and I'm president to expand the presence of IDB in the private sector and so on. He said, you have to come with me. And then I said, hey, I'm going to get you a good vice president, but I can be more useful to you from this position because I have the responsibility of the relationship of the IDB with all the multilateral entities, including CAF. So I commit to helping you. Then I went to Caracas and I helped him with the technical team and consultants to structure the project. And then I was in Bolivia twice, once as Vice Minister of Planning and Coordination, and then as a Minister and boss of the cabinet. And I was when I arrived in CAF after 18 years at the IDB, and after getting to know CAF, I had an idea of what we could do, and that was the seed that I want to thank. And I'm the only survivor of all the former presidents. Gustavo Montaño, my predecessor, passed away. He was very old. But thank you, Sergio. I'm happy to see that over the construction that we left behind us, as opposed to what happens in politics, that no presidents come to change the constitution to be reelected. In my case, there was none of that. So with that is the point. Now, I want to congratulate the team, the CAF team, Alejandra, the whole team, and representatives, and for having done this very rigorous work under the criteria that was already presented. Having these 32 candidates of very first level, very top level, and we have had a top class jury too. Carolina España, that could not come, unfortunately, because she was in Vienna. She was the president, and she delegated young Andres Rugeles. I don't know if he was very young, but not sure. And the jury was myself, Sergio, Isabel, Santiago in Panama, and someone else. Well, that was it. That was it. It was a very difficult job because out of the 32 candidates, well, there was the selection to pick these 6 finalists, and it was it was very difficult to decide. They were also very top. And when I was listening to Karen in her presentation, and everything she highlighted were points that we had in our minds to come to this final decision. So it has been a wonderful, gratifying experience, and I'm very proud to see what CAF is doing now and in the future, for all the support and appreciation and all those stakeholders. Manuel is here. I was in Madrid, and Alejandro said, for those preparing the award and the trophy, they're gonna come for a talk. It's been 3 hours there. It is like going to the psychiatrist. He was asking me questions and not happy with those answers. He asked for my wife to be there to say, but thank you for that very professional work. Having said that, I think that we are getting to the announcement of the decision that has been made, and again, it has been a very professional, serious work, and thank the members and all the team that has worked on this, and of course the members of the jury. So what do we have to do now? President Garcia, please stay there. Now we want to invite Sergio Díaz-Granados to deliver, to hand out the special mentions, certificates, and the winner of the second edition. First special mention here for this second edition of this Leadership Award is to Carrie-Ann Bolfo from Barbados. So please come to the stage to receive your certificate. Congratulations, Carrie-Ann. Second special mention goes to Nicholas Key from Jamaica. And the winner of the second edition of the Enrique García Leadership Award is Jose Adolfo Quisocala from Peru. Big round of applause for winning this award. Please join us here for official photo with the special mentions together with the winner. Next, we're going to present a video of a winning project. Please be seated. I didn't like to go to school, and parents said that we had to be grateful because many kids couldn't go to school, and then I spoke to another kid, and then confirmed that reality. My life changed. I always heard that kids and youngsters are the future of our country, but they don't protect us when we need it the most. And so the Bank of Students is a social initiative that wants to combine finance and recycling. So this is kids, boys and girls. They bring their solids. We then assess the content, and then we have environmental education, entrepreneur and leadership, which is part of a whole kit that we offer the kids that are part of a project. So we want to help the kids to dream big, and also their families. Probably none of what we have done at the Bank of a Student wouldn't be possible without the support of my dad. Has been there the most difficult moments. We want to complete the kit of everything that is required for us to build urban cities, but also rural zones and areas where we can have a bigger impact and invest the money in initiatives that we want to do, like the Eco ATM, and we also want to be able to consolidate all the information necessary for traceability of solid waste, the environmental impact and social impact, economic impact, so that we can bring more investors. Part of what we do and what we want is to show the real impact in numbers of what we have achieved in these years. So the award is going to be invested so that we can expand to other countries. I want to thank the CAF and the jury of Enrique García Leadership for trusting my project, my team, and the impact that we're having, and for demonstrating that the real social transformation starts when we listen to the ones that are not usually heard. I think that the video already explained, but I do feel super proud. I mean, in July we're celebrating, so this plaque is very important for me. It's important again because this is where everything was born, my home, my house, and everything. And let me tell you that starting up our little talk we had. I mean, this social entrepreneurship is not that easy. Believe me, there's a lot of suffering, a lot of tears, a lot of moments when you want to give up. But the most important thing is to know why you're doing it. And for me, seeing every time that I was out there walking the streets and see these children working, that was my motivation to continue to push through. Once someone told me that it was curious that I had to start working to avoid that other children had to work in the streets, and that's true. I started to work when I was 7 and struggle for children in my country can exercise their rights and have access on their basic rights. And it's important to remember that if as everyone have said this and everyone has repeated, children are not only youngsters. I'm already a youngster. We're not only the future of our countries, we're the present. I believe that today I've heard stories of these youngsters that are working, studying now, so that we can all have a future, which is the important thing. So we're not the future, but the present. That is starting to change today. And as Enrique said in the past, there's no development without inclusion. And not only we talk about financial inclusion or environmental inclusion, but this is the inclusion of children and youngsters, where our voices are heard, not only heard, but also considered, taken into account, where our work is valued, and we're not just considered second category, second tier citizens, but we must be considered as people, the little people that are going to demonstrate that things can be done right if we do it together. It is also the moment so that everybody here can hear their children, cousins, and brothers, sisters. I want to thank those that have listened to me, because without them I wouldn't be here. My father is a very important person to me. Today he's not here with me, but he's in Arequipa today. He's helping me with the project, and for me he's like my right hand. But there have been a lot of people that have provided their support to me. It's important to acknowledge that, and things can then move on, not only for me but for all the youngsters. I think this award is not only a recognition to my project and my effort and everything you saw. That's a very beautiful work, but also the recognition and the mention, and something that can demonstrate all the children that at some point can watch this video, that age is not just a limitation, the size of the city or the country you come from. It is your will, your effort, your motivation, and what you have inside your heart. Thank you.
Bueno, muchísimas gracias, José Adolfo.
Thank you all. With that, we're closing the celebration of the second edition of the Leadership Award. Enrique Garcia, thank you for being with us this evening, and this event is going to be recorded on our social media. Thank you very much.